Hello, my name is Jeremy, just your average everyday guy. That is until sometime in my early 30s, I developed a spinal condition known as ankylosing spondylitis. It took me from this, 6 foot tall, to this, not 6 foot tall. But I wasn't going to let that get me down forever, so eventually I kicked some bad habits and started fighting back. I still get some pretty strange looks, but I'm now doing what I love, traveling and adventuring. My goal is to show other people with disabilities or anyone facing challenges that your best days don't have to be behind you and that there's always hope. So thanks for joining me, the Handicapped Hiker. Welcome back to my humble mobile abode. On the last episode, I nearly completed the plumbing system and got off to a good start on my countertops. Let's pick up there and get things moving. Here is the countertop where the range top stove is going to go. I got it all cut out, sanded, and stained. And right now what I'm doing is gluing and taping together shims to go on the back of my wall cabinets because the metal wall of the van is at an angle in this way, so when I mount this to the back of my cabinet and put my cabinet up against the crooked van wall, my cabinets will be straight or very close to straight. Need to take lots of breaks today, drink lots of water. I felt a little bit sick last night after being out here all day long. I don't think I hydrated very well yesterday. Alright, so now I've got 10 of these ready. That's enough to hang all of my upper cabinets. But I need to take a break now. So I'm just going to do one easy thing in the back of the van and then head inside to take a break and hydrate. And I realized yesterday that I did make another mistake. The water pump circuit, I ran all the way over to the distribution panel yesterday and forgot that it is supposed to go through a switch first. That was a pretty dumb mistake, but I was just in a hurry, so that's what happens. Alright, let's give this a shot, huh? But chances are, with all the connections I did, one of them's gonna have to leak. Okay, there's my little guard to keep anything I'm storing back here from bumping into my connections. Now I wanted to zip tie this hot water line to this to help secure it. Now I'm tempted to do the circuit real quick while we're in the shade back here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright guys, well, today is one of those days that feels like I'm not getting much done. Even though I got groceries today, I got my lawn mowed. Just doesn't feel like there's a lot getting done on the van. That's probably because there isn't. I have my countertops cut and stained and ready to go in. I also wanted to start putting my upper wall cabinets in. And then I realized once I get those things in, it's going to be very difficult to put my wall panels in. So even though I wasn't concerned about the wall panels being done in time for this trip, they really need to be done next before I can put this other stuff in. So my goal for today is to get these cut out, which is not going to be easy. It's a very odd shape to fit into the van wall. Everything's curved, everything's at an angle. But we'll get it figured out. We'll get these cut out, hopefully wrapped today. Maybe even put in. Cross your fingers. This is kind of the point where it's all going to start coming together, I hope. All these little loose ends I have, hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll start getting them all tied together, and the van's going to start looking pretty close to done. Okay, so this is why this is not going to be fun. We need a panel that's going to fit this somewhat square area. And I want it to mount down here on this flat surface. It's also going to mount on the wood around the window. It can mount here, and it can mount in this corner. And that's it. There's nothing along the top for it to screw into. Nothing down here for it to screw into. So once I get it wrapped in fabric, if it fits in there snug enough, just being screwed in place around here should hold it solid against this part of the van. Now this is a new way of doing this. I have not seen this online anywhere. Most people, when they do their vans, they run wood slats or furring strips on the inside of the van, and they attach their wall panels to those. But when you do that, you're going from the innermost surface of the van, and you're losing at least another inch with your wood boards and whatever your finished wall is. So you're losing, as you can see, this recess here is 4 to 5 inches. You're losing that 4 to 5 inches plus another inch for your wood. I mean, you're losing both sides of the van. You're losing almost a foot of space. That just did not make sense to me. So what I wanted to do was put all my cabinets back against the wall as far as I could and cut them around these pillars and push everything out to the actual outer skin of the van. And I want very minimal space between my wall panels and the outer skin of the van. Basically 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 inches, enough to put some insulation in, but enough to give me at least 3 or 4 inches of space on each side of the van. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but like I've said before, in a van, every inch might as well be a foot. Ow, 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 ow. Starting to see a picture come together. Once that one corner's rounded off more, it'll slide that way. Alright folks, here it is. All wrapped up. Looking good. The only problem is I put the fabric on the wrong side of it. So I have to use this one on the driver's side of the van. And then I'll have to cut that other piece out and triple check myself to make sure I'm wrapping the correct side so I can use that on the passenger side. So this is quite a setback today. It's work that was going to have to be done anyways, eventually. Let's go ahead and get the other panel cut out so we can get the passenger side done. Okay, well luckily the window is holding in place from all the sealant I put on it. That's a good sign. I don't have to mess with the window. I just need to pop the wall panel in and get that frame back in before the window falls out. So here we go. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's working. I was really expecting that to be an hour-long hassle, and it literally just took me 5 minutes. The window didn't just fall out when I took the inner frame off. The inner frame went right back on. Piece of cake. So that couldn't have gone any better. I am thrilled with that. Okay. I want to do the upper cabinets for now. Even if I don't get them mounted, I want to at least get started on my measurements. And what I'm going to do is, as you can see, there are some holes already put in from the factory. These square holes. So what I'm going to do is use those as a guide, because the ceiling is curved a bit. If I just put the cabinets all the way up against the ceiling, they're not going to be, I'm going to say level, but actually plumb is what I'm more concerned with. I want to make sure that when I put one in and then put the next one in, they line up. One's not sticking down a little further than the other. So I'm going to go off of these square holes and put a mark every 1/4 inch probably as a guide to line my cabinets up, and I'm going to put the highest one in first. In theory, that sounds like it'll work in my head. Let's go ahead and see if it actually works in real life. "16 days to go, including today, and I don't know what the problem is. I just can't get myself going today. It was raining when I woke up, so I took it easy, didn't get outside right away. I just can't get anything going today." Okay, so the countertop and sink look pretty good dry fit. I think it's ready for a good sanding and staining. Let's go ahead and get this back in the house before it gets damaged. Get this back in the garage for sanding. I want to have a 120 volt outlet a regular household wall outlet somewhere near this countertop where the sink is, and also near this countertop in case I want to put some small appliance like an air fryer or a Foreman grill, something small like that. So what I think I'm gonna do is put the outlet on this side in the exterior wall, the back of the cabinet. I'm thinking I'll put it out here. That way I can use it if I want to cook outside of the van. Probably have a fold down table here. Or when that sliding door is shut, there's enough room between that door and my countertop for a cord to come up over the top here to an appliance on the counter. Over here, what I've decided to do is put it in my plumbing wall. Since there's the only plumbing is here in the center, there's nothing over here. And my electrical box fits perfectly in there. Okay, so these are GFCI outlets, which means they can be used near water source. They're also tamper resistant and weather resistant, so they should be fine on the outside of the van. Should be pretty much indestructible in a van, so let's go ahead and get this one in. Alright, so this one is wired in. I got the wall plate on, looks pretty nice. It's a little crooked in there, so from the front you can see a gap. I'll try fixing that later. I don't want to waste time on it right now. I still need to run the cable to the back, but first I think I'm going to go ahead and get this outlet box cut out, put in the outlet wired, and then we'll move on. Let's get those twisted up. Again, not perfect, but good. We can adjust it later. It's in there. So before I get too far into projects inside the van, I want to make sure I go ahead and get another coat of the stain on the sink countertop. I've already got the tabletop double stained and the stove countertop double stained. They look pretty good. My favorite place, the back of the van under the bed. So here we are again. Okay. So our wires are run through the back of the panel. Let's go on the other side and connect everything. All right. Oh, my knees. Not going to be able to do any hiking after this because I'm beating myself up. Sliding door outlet, sink outlet, water heater outlet. Okay, so what I'm going to do now before I take my break is I've cut a little plate out of this thin 3/16 inch plywood. I've pre-drilled 4 holes in the corner where I'm going to screw this in. and then 2 holes where the wiring's going to go through. So I did that just as a guide for now. I'm going to go ahead and screw this in place and then drill the wiring holes all the way through this wall. Alright, so the plate's connected. I'm going to go ahead and drill my guide holes for the wiring all the way through. What I'm doing here is cutting out sections of the cabinet to avoid stampings in the van frame that protrude inward. This is necessary to mount the cabinets as high as possible and as far back against the wall as possible. I'm also drilling holes to line up with the rivet nuts I installed earlier. Let's just try not to hurt ourselves here. These holes that I drilled in the cabinet have plenty of wiggle room for adjusting and lining up the cabinet with the markings on the van wall. The bolts and 1x3 board simply clamp the cabinet to the van wall when tightened. Once everything is lined up where it should be, screws through the 1x3 board into the cabinet back will permanently fasten everything together. Sights right there. Okay, one side is in. Now we gotta get this other side. Definitely makes the space feel a little smaller. That was to be expected though. I'm gonna make some adjustments. Tap it up with a rubber mallet to make sure my lines that I drew on the cabinet line up with the lines I drew on the van wall. And then I'm gonna add some more shims. But I'm happy with that. Oh boy. Alright, 14 days to go. I just came outside and it started to sprinkle. I need something to stack it on to hold it up almost in place. So maybe if I put this tabletop on there and a few boxes, that'll get me high enough to start manipulating the position without having to hold it over my head in an awkward position. Oh. Yeah. That's a workout. Holy cow. Nothing's ever easy, folks. If it was, everybody would be doing this. But kind of everybody is doing this. Stuff like this is extremely discouraging. I just cannot get that cabinet to line up with this one. It's close, but it's fighting me. It's been a lot more work than I was expecting to get into. But all I can do is keep shimming it a little more and a little more and a little more. And hopefully I can get it to stay where it's supposed to. It's fighting me though. It's fighting me hard. Well, after a very long wrestling match, I got the other cabinet up. Alright, well, 13 days left. Guess before we put it up on the wall, we better make sure that it fits, huh? Look at that beautiful fit. Okay, so there we have it. Mounted in place. Looks good. Now, I still have to wire the inside, but I'm not worried about that right now. Right now what I'm looking at doing is possibly getting this mounted so I can fold it down out of the way, and then working on getting this drawer modified to fit in here. You'll remember I cut this cabinet 3 inches short from front to back, and I also had to add this wood blocking in for the back of the cabinet. So I don't know how that's going to affect the drawer, but I need to go ahead and take a look at that. Whew. Oh my goodness. No room to move. I'm already not flexible, holy cow. Whew, okay. Look at that. Well, I didn't have to do too many modifications to this drawer. It was not nearly as bad as I was expecting it to be. The drawer itself didn't need any modifications. The only thing I had to do was cut about 2 inches off of the metal track that goes inside the cabinet here. And I already put the drawer together in the house, so it's ready to slide in with these tracks and wheels. So we'll go ahead and get these fastened in and get the drawer in there, see what it looks like. Oh, what happened? Something's hitting. Ah! It's the back of the rails on the drawer. Unfortunately, that is where the wheels are, so we might have to take these rails off and cut an inch or so out of the middle of them, and then put this back on at least a half an inch further in. Okay, that actually only took me about 3 minutes to cut that and get it reattached. So let's see what we got now. That's a thing of beauty, folks. I got a junk drawer. Everybody needs a junk drawer. These locking latches, it's a push button latch. This is now fastened in, and you can see when I push the button, there's a little latch that comes out, and that catches on to this little metal piece that's attached to the cabinet, and that will prevent the drawer from sliding out while I'm driving. So let's go ahead and try to get this in place. Alright, let's get this squared up. 13/16, almost 7/8, about 13/16. That's as good as it's gonna get. That's where it's going. I'd hate to say it, but that went faster and easier than I thought. Also, we're on a roll today. I'm going to use these little 1-pound propane canisters because these seem to last forever for me, just doing a single use each night. So I got the hose that connects to these. There is a regulator on it, but that regulator is set at the minimum pressure that the stovetop requires. Well, it says not to over tighten, so I think that's pretty tight. Very good. Let's get the red one on. All right. Alright folks, the stove is mounted. Okay, the next task is to get these USB outlets wired through the wall into the DC distribution panel. Alright. This is just so you don't see the bare wires here when the table's folded down. And of course when the table folds up, you don't see any of this anyways. So let's go around to the back of the van and make these connections to the distribution panel. Alright, I am far more nervous than I probably should be. So let's go ahead and fire this thing up and see what happens. Here we go. Ooh, I hear noises. Okay, it's firing up. Inverter on. Alright folks, I've got everything synced up to the app. Everything is on. It's reading solar power coming in, charging the batteries. Let's go try to turn some things on. I'm excited and nervous at the same time. The fridge is working. My lights are working. Oh my God, my lights are working. Oh, the fan is working. Oh my gosh, this is the happiest I've been in a while. Everything's working, folks. Oh my God. It's a good day. USB outlets are working. Let's try one of these 120 volt outlets, shall we? We'll leave the water heater outlet off for now. Oh, I have outlets. Oh my gosh, folks, I'm so happy. This is awesome. Oh, that's so cool. This trip is gonna be awesome now. I still have a ton of work to do, but this is great. If you enjoyed this video, ever so gently click that like button. Also comment, share, and make sure you're subscribed for free. Thank you for watching.